there's this time, I think I was just trying to make something out of my life, and I got into forex trading.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yo, that thing will teach you character development, break you, destroy you. Telling myself I cannot allow the devil to win because when I'm down, he's winning. So I cannot allow him to be happy over my pain, over my brokenness. And so that has motivated me to stand up on my feet again so that he can just be put to shame.
I think for me, one of the worst, beside your case, was now losing Pastor Grace.
Yeah.
That has been and still remains up to today my most devastating blow that I've ever encountered in life because Pastor Grace was no ordinary woman to me. She was not just a wife to me, but she was my friend. She was like my counselor, like the place I want to know how to do things. She was everything anybody would want to live. And therefore, losing her, I felt my world has come to an end. And were it not that I had children, I think if we were only the two of us, I would have quickly joined her. Hello, my name is Apostle Paul, and I have my co-host with me.
Yes, I'm Rosita Paul. You can call me Rosita anytime.
Oh yeah. So I trust you're doing very okay. Today we are going to be talking about remaining broken.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Remaining broken. When you say that, it sounds like you have not chosen to be broken. You found yourself in a situation of brokenness, but you chose to not come out of it. You chose not to overcome it. And instead, you built a tent in that brokenness. So that is what comes to mind. And unfortunately, so many people are a victim to that.
You're so right. It's so true. There are so many people who have actually been a lot of very painful circumstances, and they don't have the energy to fight back. They are so wounded. They are bleeding. They are in regret. They are in despair. They have no strength to bounce back. And that's why we came up with this podcast to try to tell everybody you don't have to remain broken.
Yeah, it's possible to come out.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I've met a lot of people who have been broken by different issues. There are people, for example, there are people in business. They have started businesses, invested a lot of time, as some have even taken a loan from banks or from financial institutions, only to suffer massive loss. And they have taken a lot of time to pay off their loans. And after that, they just say, no, I will not dare again. I cannot do this again.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, you've been there.
Yeah, there's this time, I think I was just trying to make something out of my life, and I got into forex trading.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yo, that thing will teach you character development, break you, destroy you. I lost so much money, which you had given to me.
But I remember there was that one time you really made some good, and you are so happy. And then the next minute,
all gone. that was really heartbreaking. Yeah. So I totally understand what you mean when it comes to like business, finances, investing. Yeah.
But I think the worst. Okay, there are so many depending on like it's different from one person to the other. Most people have been heartbroken as far as relationships are concerned. You invest your emotions, your time, your words, your affirmations and affection, and then just somebody turns tables on you. And you are left stranded, heartbroken, and feeling worthless, feeling you're not beautiful enough, you are not man enough. And I remember there is a friend of mine. He was in love. We were in college that time, and he had fallen in love with somebody that he was saying, I knew that was a perfect match from made from heaven
God
and
sent.
all that. God sent, and he was looking forward to marry the lady only for one day. For the lady to write a letter. Those were days of letters. Phones were for the chosen few. And this brother received the letter. And guess what the letter said? That the lady said, I looked at myself and I tried to look for anything good in you. And I realized that you are scoring 0. Can you imagine? Hey, some people, man. Hey.
Ladies, go easy.
And the dude was so heartbroken, and he was hurting, and he had lived for several years before I met him. And in college, because the college was mixed, we had men and women. He did not want any woman close to him, including the seating arrangement. He did not want a lady on the left, right, in front, behind him.
That's a lot of trauma.
Yes. And I took about 2 years to help him realize that was that lady. You can have some other ladies who are ready to love him the way he is. And I try to really help him that he should not use words that were used on him by another person to generalize. You know, we have had this general saying like, all men are dogs. It came from one person who was treated by a man who behaved like a dog, and now every man has been put into the same basket. It's unfair.
It's unfair, it's unfair. Some people make conclusions out of their brokenness, and we who listen to them take the conclusion as principle.
You're right.
So you got to even a point, you say men are dogs, so choose the kind you want. German Shepherd, Chihuahua,
Pitbull,
choose your dog.
Rottweiler. You can choose your own dog.
It became a whole principle, you know. It's so unfortunate. So, what should somebody do when they find themselves in this state of brokenness and they don't know what to do? Basically, they find themselves being in that situation for very long. It's been 5, 10, maybe 20 years, still trying to recover from a heartbreak or a major financial loss. What are some of the things that we can do to come out of brokenness?
Wow. I think one of the things that one should do is not make a doctrine out of the failure. Like for example, there are people who form a principle, a doctrine out of an issue. Like they say, okay, I was broken by a man, and therefore that means men are not to be loved, or if somebody can say, okay, I'm not meant to be loved, I don't deserve to be loved. That is what, or even fear men, or reject them altogether. So I think it's wrong. I like to use the example of Mary in the Bible, the mother of Jesus. She got Jesus without the help of man. If she made a doctrine out of it, and you're a woman, you want her to advise you how to have children. She will tell you don't need a man. You see, it was a true thing that happened for her. It was specifically for her, and it happened only once. So also it's important for everybody that is heartbroken, whether you're being broken by business, a relationship, or whatever it is, just know, don't make a doctrine out of it. It was just a one-time event, and it doesn't have to recur.
But what would you say to somebody now who thinks I've been in this situation over and over again, maybe repeatedly making bad investments or getting into bad relationships, or first marriage divorced, second one broke down as well. So how can you tell this person that it does not mean the next one is gonna end up the same way as your past circumstance?
Oh, wow. Awesome question. I think, and I believe this is the way to go about it. I like to tell people it's very okay to not only study how to succeed, it's also good to study failure. because if you, I love the way Thomas Edison put it.
Yeah.
When he was told that he has failed so many times, he said, "No, I have not failed.
Yeah.
I've only learned how not to succeed." So even failure can be studied.
Yeah.
For example, let's say somebody has failed in relationships. You can ask yourself, what could be the things that are making you to fail in relationships? You might realize you are so quick to give your body to the other person, which means the other person gets tired, loses interest, or considers you cheap and loose. Or maybe you overpromise. You can find yourself, maybe you have no boundaries, or you don't study the history of the person. You will definitely discover that there are steps you're ignoring, or there are some red flags or yellow flags that you are ignoring. So I suggest that if somebody has failed once and again, sit down, review, find out what caused it, because nothing just happens. Yeah, there are some marriages that failed before it was begun. So study the failure, and then you'll be able to know how to go about it.
That is interesting. I've remembered, I saw this clip on, was it TikTok? Yeah, it was just a very short clip on TikTok talking about people who are grieving and they remain in their grief forever. And this lady was saying that don't allow yourself to die with those you bury. Like, don't bury yourself with the dead. Like, it's okay, acknowledge the pain, acknowledge the loss, but don't bury yourself with them. Know that there's a place you can pick your life from and move on and rebuild and continue building what was already there. So it totally makes sense when you say that you don't have to remain in that situation. The Bible has clearly admonished us that 7 times you'll fall, so 7 times
you can rise.
You can rise.
I agree. I agree. But let me also say that for somebody that is broken and you're feeling you have no strength to rise up, first of all, just know it's human. You're a human being, and it's okay to be hurt. It's okay to cry. It's okay even to withdraw. It's okay to block those calls. It's okay, you are just being human. But in your humanity, don't lose your humanness. Yeah.
So what are some of the practical ways that we can do to push ourselves to move towards healing and not dwell in that brokenness? I know you said about not creating a doctrine out of your circumstance.
Yes.
So what other practical ways can we do to move on?
Another very important is to ask for help, because there are some pains and some struggles you have no strength within yourself to come out. You need external assistance. This is where you can use a better, a stronger support system where you just cry out and say, hey, man, this is what I've been going through. I have no strength. I'm not able to start. I know I should overcome. I know I should. I'm not supposed to remain broken, but I just don't have the strength. I don't have the strength. It's like, I know I should be out there. I know I should start. I know I should pursue again. But the strength is not there. And this is where asking from external assistance is very, very helpful. If Peter did not call out for Jesus when he was sinking, he would have actually drowned. So don't drown in your pain and regret. Don't drown in your self-pity and feeling worthless and useless. Just call out. Call out. Talk to somebody. I have been, personally, I've really been appreciative of people who call me around the world. They are in different issues, and by the grace of God, most of them have really I cannot count how many people have escaped suicidal the thoughts and plans just because they just talked. They just made a phone call. And I just told them, hey, okay, it's all right. And then I started talking with them. And suddenly, some of these people have actually become very special. Like, let me just give this example. A particular, today he's a man of God, but he came to me and his challenge was masturbation. And he came to my office and he hated himself. He considered himself so filthy. And he was a graduate. But that habit had really made him to hate himself. And I started talking to him. And recently, I bumped into him on the social media. He is doing amazing. He overcame that challenge. And now he is married. He's moving on with his life. And that is why I like to tell people, don't call a bend an end. There's a major difference.
That is powerful. Don't see a bend and think that's the end. If you allow yourself to just go just beyond the bend,
yes.
you see the road is continuing.
You have also gone through very serious heartbreaking issues. Not even one, whether it's finances, relationship, life in general, grief. You have dealt with all those things. Maybe you can tell us what has made you not to remain broken. Because, I mean, those are many choices you've been given by life. You would have chosen, okay, I will just stay here and bemoan my circumstance.
Well, I think one of the major things that has really helped me is telling myself I cannot allow the devil to win. Because when I'm down, he's winning. So I cannot allow him to be happy over my pain, over my brokenness. And so that has motivated me to stand up on my feet again so that he can just be put to shame.
Awesome. So what you are saying is there are spiritual programmings that, if allowed, they will destroy you. And you're required to fight back. Amazing. I think I agree with you fully because honestly, we are in a very, very difficult moment where there are sudden things that just happen. You cannot trace them why from the sources. You just see the effect. But some of these things, they are not just coming from the physical world. Some could be coming from the spiritual realms. Where just a certain program has been set that you will not be married, or you will not have children, or all these bad things. But you just need a support system. Is one of the most practical way to come out of a broken-hearted situation.
That is so true. And one thing I have learned is you cannot actually encourage somebody to come out of their situation. They have to make the decisions for themselves. And so getting to understand why you need to make that decision to come out of your situation is the most crucial thing.
Awesome.
And for me, it's just always been, I cannot just allow the enemy to win. I cannot allow him to triumph over me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this situation and turn it around, make it good and useful for my life and for others, so that he can just be put to shame. And that is so satisfying.
Wow. Wow. That sounds like something I was watching yesterday that really kind of I was so touched. I was watching something about Steve Harvey, how he received a letter recently from the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore. And in the letter, the president of Burkina Faso was telling Steve that he may not know him, but years ago, he was talking, he's a comedian. He was just talking, and in the talk, he was saying, never, ever give up. And the president got that word as a young man, and now he's a president. And he was telling Steve that your voice has built and encouraged a lot of people in places that you may never get, and you are influencing people you may never know. And in the process, he invited him over and he told him, come not as a celebrity or as a wealthy man. I am inviting you to come as a man. And Steve went, and it was so moving. It was so moving just listening to that story. And that goes to tell us that if you don't want to remain broken, you need to conceive again your vision. Because people who remain broken, the major thing that makes people to remain broken is losing their vision. So if you can recapture the vision is basically where you want to be in life, what can become of you in the future, what you have discovered as your potential, as your preferred place of destiny. That is another practical thing that really lifts people. The president was telling Steve that you made me a soldier who has now become a president who loves his people. And the president was saying, I have lived without shoes, without food, brought up by a grandmother. And, he shared some very touching story. So I'm saying this to encourage somebody who is down there. Please recapture your vision, where you can be. Begin to see what you can become. And you can begin to use your pain as a testimony that this can be overcome.
That is so interesting to say. And I'm now thinking about Steve, what if he had chosen to remain in his circumstance? I mean, the millions of people that he has motivated, impacted, changed their lives, many of them would probably not be where they are. And so sometimes, even when we are refusing or denying ourselves the opportunity to come out of something, in the process we are denying so many other people from coming out from their own situations, because all they need is to see that this person came out, if she can do it, I can do it. If he can come out of this, then I can also come out of this. So maybe at the end of the day, we also have to think about how many people will be affected if I choose to remain in this brokenness that I'm in. And I'm curious to know, in your life, have you been in that brokenness that you struggled to come out of, but eventually did?
Yes. Actually, and before I give an example, as you are talking, I was seeing that everybody that is great, that you admire, they have been through a lot. And we admire their glory. But if we know their story, we will realize they were made from a very dark kind of a story. And every general, they have so many scars. Anybody that you admire, they have a lot of scars. They've been wounded. Some had near-death encounters, but they just developed a strength. That's a little strength, a little push, a little step, and finally they came out. I think for me, one of the worst, beside your case, was now losing Pastor Grace. That has been and still remains up to today my most devastating blow that I've ever encountered in life, because Pastor Grace was no ordinary woman to me. She was not just a wife to me, but she was my friend. She was like my counselor, like the place I want to know how to do things. She was everything anybody would want to live. And therefore, losing her, I felt my world has come to an end. And were it not that I had children, I think if we were only the two of us, I would have quickly joined her. But now I looked at you, I looked at Gloria, and I had another reason to just gain strength. But it wasn't that easy. As I continued mourning for many days, sleepless nights, not eating food, withdrawal, not interested in anything and all that, I started realizing that if I was going to come out, I needed to get another vision as far as life is concerned. I was drawing a lot of strength from her. She's no longer there. I decided I must draw strength from somewhere else. And that is where I knew my daughter Rose, my daughter Gloria, I'll make them my source of strength. I'll be looking at you and then I'll get stronger. I look at you and I have a reason to fight back. I look at you and I know that I don't have to remain crying in the bedroom. Yeah.
Wow. So you found your why you need to move on.
Exactly.
Why you need to keep pressing on and just your reason to keep on living, And that is what so many people, I think, they don't get easily. For example, a mom that has lost a child feels like now they have no reason to live anymore. They've lost maybe a job, family.
Yeah.
Like so many people lose things, and unfortunately, it's almost as if that was their reason for living. So they end up withdrawing into this cocoon where they're just waiting for their time to die. So it's amazing what you said, that you find a reason, you recapture the vision, then you get the strength to be able to move on. So that is very liberating, I must say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And another very helpful practical thing that I think can also be very helpful is just know you are not the only one.
Oh, yeah.
It is painful, it is horrible, but guess what? It is common.
Yeah.
It's only that this time round, you're the victim.
Yeah.
But whatever you're going through, somebody else, actually so many other people have gone through the same and they have overcome.
Yeah.
So you can also overcome.
Yeah.
So don't make it like it is so exclusive to you. No. There is a lot of people who have gone through what you are going through, and most of them have overcome. So that somebody else has overcome, you can believe that you will also overcome.
Even Jesus said it, I have overcome the world.
Yes, you will also overcome. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is encouraging to know. I mean, sometimes when I'm reading the Bible and I come across a situation that I can relate to, and I see that this person overcame, and I'm thinking to myself, whom am I? The other day I was reading this the story of Jesus. He had just performed a miracle, and people were cheering him on. They were excited, and then the disciples went to him and they were like, "Can't you see how the crowd is cheering you on?" And then Jesus looked at the disciples like, "You have no idea what's in their hearts. Like these are wicked. These are vipers."
Yes.
And I thought to myself, how many times have I allowed somebody to cheer me on, and when later on I came to realize the hearts were not even for me, it breaks me. And I realized, you know what, Jesus has been there, so it's cool.
Yeah. Betrayals are very normal. I mean, but he says something very powerful. He said that because he has known what is in the hearts of men, he no longer like banks on men because of their unpredictabilities. And perhaps you should not be like surprised that somebody who was cheering you and loved you has suddenly turned on you. One of the very first thing that happened to me early in the ministry was a certain pastor and the wife and the children. We took them into my own compound and educated them, wedded them, ordained them, and planted church for them. I mean, everything. I did everything that you'd expect that this person will be forever grateful. Only for the same individual to mobilize a team of people to pray for my death. Can you believe it? So I was so surprised, and I was wondering, God, is this the best way to repay? So I believe out there are people you have done good. You've invested in people, you have trusted them, you've made sacrifices, and expecting that now every day they say, "We thank God for you, you mean so much," only for them to turn the whole story and say you use them, you abuse them, or even they can concoct lies and accusations. Please don't be surprised. I was there, and many other people have been betrayed by people they supported.
Yeah. So maybe if you're going through something, the best thing would be to figure out if you can come across somebody else, even if it's online, that has gone through the same thing that you've gone through, and see how they overcame, so that it can give you the strength and the courage to also face your own circumstance,
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that was it. That was very enlightening. That was very encouraging. And I know our audience has learned something amazing from this conversation. Let us know in the comments if there's anything that has resonated with you, and if there's a practical method we have shared with you that you know for sure you're going to implement in your own life. And we'll be happy to see you and hear your testimony of how you came out of brokenness.
Yeah, and if you are there, you're still, broken and unable to move on,
Yeah.
you can as well inbox us, reach out,
Yeah.
and we'll see what we can do to help you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can send us a DM. My social medias are Rose Rosetta Paul on all platforms. And yours,
Apostle Paul Njoroge,
yeah,
on all, on all platforms. Yes.
Yeah. So do reach out to us if you need to talk to us directly, and we'll be happy to help you how we can. So thank you so much for watching today's episode. We look forward to having you next week, same time, same day.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, bye.